Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to talk about my 90s and 2000s, early 2000s collection in detail. You guys have seen a video from me a couple of years ago with this, but first of all, I've added a lot more new stuff to this over the last couple of years, obviously to this wall. And if you guys saw my last video a couple of years ago, this place was kind of a mess. I used to hate kind of showing this place off when it comes to this wall specifically because I just had the 90s stuff attached to the wall, but there was no organization to this wall. There wasn't any theming. It wasn't organized on shelves or anything like that because I always thought shelves were too big for this area until I found these smaller shelves here that you're looking at that really helped me, set different themings to different areas and let me show off this stuff. The whole point of having a collection like this is when friends come over, they can come into this room and be like, holy shit, I remember this. That's what happens when they come and look at my retro games. They see them on the shelf. They're like, holy shit, what do you have? Oh, I remember this when I played this as a kid, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of wanted for this. And sometimes I want people to be able to grab stuff from here and be like, oh my God, I remember playing with this. I want to be able to touch it and feel it and play with it and see what it was like to bring those memories back. And before, with the mess that this place was, with like everything just kind of being on the floor for a lot of the stuff and just not having great organization without having any shelves, it really was a place that I was like, I like what I have, but I don't like how it's presented. And I finally found these shelves, obviously, as you guys are seeing, which we're going to talk about here. And now it's in a much better place. And now this is the final cornerstone of this retro game room that I was kind of always didn't want to show off. And now I feel like this is in a great place with the videos that are coming out this week. Not only with this, but with my other videos that are coming out with my retro PC area, my 3D area, and stuff like that. So look forward to those videos, and you guys make sure you subscribe if you guys want to see those. But now this retro game room is in a great space, and it's kind of fulfilled the vision that I was looking for. So let's go ahead and go into some of this stuff in detail, show you guys what's on this wall, and talk about the journey. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start talking about this. So first of all, here's a back shot of the whole entire area here. This is from wall to wall here. And these are the shelves that I was talking about, as you guys can see in the intro. So right here are these two middle shelves that are green. You got the one in orange on the left and the right. Obviously, this is very reminiscent of the colors of the 90s from being like Nickelodeon and slime colors and stuff like that. That's kind of what I was going for. These black shelves, sorry, they were black. That's why I got confused there for a second. But you can see right here that this is all about, bringing that theming alive. And these shelves used to be black. I actually just painted these green to kind of match these shelves at the bottom as close as possible. These shelves I did find on Wayfair, which was awesome because they're not big shelves. They're not huge or anything like that, which is obviously what I wanted because I couldn't have shelves that were big because then this space would look way out of place. If I made them as big as those retro shelves over there, I feel like it would just look way out of place, make the room feel too small, which is why I never had a good way to fill this room out and present this 90s wall. But now we finally have something going here, and you can see what we have going on. So what did I do? Well, now this thing is actually organized, not only well presented, so I can actually show people, hey, these are on the shelves, and it's kind of organized in different sections in those shelves, but also these are themed to a different area. So here in the middle here with the green slime looking shelves and the Nickelodeon above it, this is my Nickelodeon area. So these two green shelves, this green shelves here, is everything Nickelodeon related right here. So that's awesome. All my Nickelodeon stuff are there. If you look to the left here, that is where you will see all my toys. Anything toy related that is not Nickelodeon for the most part will all be over there, as you guys are seeing. And we'll go through that stuff in detail here in a minute. And then over here is anything TV related. So anything TV related that is from shows or stuff like that from back then will mostly be over here as well. And then here in the corner, we have some magazines and stuff, which we'll talk about when we get there, that are all old school magazines. So, and then we have some other stuff sprinkled in, like some board games and stuff, because I did have, if you guys remember from my last setup, one of the things that was always driving me insane that I didn't know what I was going to do with is I do have some 90s board games, and I was like, where are these going to go that they don't look out of place? And you can see I filled out the space pretty well with having the 90s board games kind of in the middle of those 90s shelves. And then I have a little sign here with the rest of the 90s board games that are sitting in the corner. So that's actually where we're going to start here as we go through some of this stuff. The lighting here is sometimes not great because sometimes I'm blocking it while I'm walking, so I apologize for that. But here we go. So first of all, this Ninja Turtle thing has been with me forever, and I never got him with the idea he was going to be against this wall. This was when I had the other area on the other side, and unfortunately, that kind of changed. So What we have here is now he's kind of hiding because this is the only spot that I kind of fit him in. So you can see his head is right there. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him forever because, like I said, he's kind of hiding in the corner and the TV's kind of blocking him a little bit. I feel like if I didn't have that Sonos speaker, then you can see him pretty easily. But since I have the Sonos speaker, his face is a little covered, but you obviously could tell it's him. So either way, this is where it kind of starts. And then you got the 90s board games sitting right here with the little sign that calls them out. And you can see we have things like Seen It that has all the Nickelodeon TV shows over here. You got the Game of Life. You got that Wizard game. I don't know how many of you guys remember that. You got Perfection sitting back there. You got a little Simon Says right there in the corner. So just starting off right there. And then again, this orange shelf here is all about toys. So you can see we started off with some Toys R Us sign right here. We also have a bunch of music CDs right here, as you can see. And don't mind some of the cabling that's still being worked out here, so that's why that's there. It's not going to be here forever. So when someone asks about it in the comments, like I said, they're being taken care of. There's some things going on down here in the basement. But yeah, you got the Toys R Us sign here at the top and the KB Toys sign right here at the bottom. A lot of you remember going to Toys R Us and KB Toys, so great place to start when it comes to this toy area. And then I have some random things kind of on the wall here. You got the Omega X-Brain in the box there, a yo-yo. You got the Koosh, if that is pronounced that way. I don't know how many of you guys remember that. You got the Tamagotchi there, a couple of them, the old one and the new one. Got a bunch of those. Skip It, sitting right there, kind of hanging. You got the world's smallest toys here from Trolls, from Care Bears. You got a Viewmaster 3D from Blossom still there in the packaging. You got a Hot Wheels Star Wars. We all know what we all thought about Hot Wheels back in the day. We got a VHS tape that tells us how to do yo-yo tricks and stuff like that, which is awesome. It's a little training video that is old school and also still sealed. We got the Duncan yo-yo sitting right underneath that. And then the first shelf here, if I can get out of the light, we got the first shelf here, and this is a bunch of mishmash of a bunch of toys, as you would expect on these shelves here. So you got like the Star Wars like book. Remember these books where you use to touch things? May the Force be with you. So you used to read those books, and the book would tell you while you're hitting the pages on which one of those buttons to press to get the sound effects. So I don't know how many of you guys remember those books, but those were always fun. You got the Viewmaster sitting right here in the top. You got the Sabiko. I love the Sabiko. And I'll be making a bunch of videos on a bunch of these toys and specific items over time. So make sure you subscribe on here on YouTube and also on TikTok and Instagram. I'll be posting them all over them. And I usually just go through and talk about these toys and go more in detail on each individual one. Just so you guys know. And then you got the Beanie Babies right here, and what's cool is that I got the couple of Beanie Babies that are pretty unique. You got the original, the last Beanie Baby that says The End on it, just the last Beanie Baby they released. Then you got the original Beanie Baby that started it all, which is this one right here, which is really cool. And then a birthday Beanie Baby as well. So got the first Beanie Baby and the last Beanie Baby there on the shelf, which is awesome. You got the Furby sitting right there in the box, which is really cool. And all of this stuff here, for all you guys who don't know, it does work. I hate having things that don't work. As soon as something doesn't work and I find out about it, I replace it or fix it, obviously, if I can. Because the whole point of these toys is not only for me to sometimes use them to bring back nostalgia, depending on what I'm doing, but for people to come over and be able to also play with them and stuff like that. And if they don't work, that kind of defeats the whole entire purpose of having these on the shelf, in my opinion. So yes, all the stuff that you see in the video, to my knowledge, the last time I used it worked, because we all know how old stuff works. Sometimes it works one day and doesn't the other. But for the most part, everything here should work, unless I get caught off guard at a random occasion. But you guys get the point. You got the Talk Boy right here. This is actually recently replaced because my old one did break, but now we got the cassette in there and it does record and work really well. Who remembers that iconic commercial? And we also have the Talk Boy pen as well, as you guys can see here. That was really fun. Yeah, you can, these commercials are so iconic when you had all of these buttons that you can actually hit on the pen and do all these different things. Same thing with the Yak Back over here on the shelf. The Yak Back here is super fun, super hilarious. The drum sounds. But anyway, this is the Yak Back here for all you guys who remember that thing. They had a few different versions of that Yak Back too. from back in the day. Then we got a little Furby's training guide right there showing you all the different tips and tricks and secrets that you can do with that Furby, which is a great book to have to remind you of all the different things you can do with it, because there's a lot of nuances to a Furby as far as all the different things it can actually do if you know about them. Then you got the original Slinky there in the box. You got another yo-yo. You got a Looney Tunes little little case here. You got the Polly Pocket sitting in the corner as well. You got a little McDonald's toy from Ronald McDonald. And we got the Tech Decks. Tech Decks are super fun. These finger toys and stuff like that that you can use. There you go. Right there on the shelf, you got a Rocket Power one. And then you also got this Tech Deck right here. Just to show off the brand. Someone must have flipped it out of me without me knowing. So on these shelves here, these aren't organized to a specific thing, just showing off different toys and different things I wanted to show off. So here you got some of these handheld gaming devices that a lot of us remember, these cheap Tiger electronics that like you can play games on. Those were always hilarious. You got a Magic 8 Ball there in the corner. You got the McDonald's like still in wrapping right there. You got an Uno card game sitting right there. Down here you have the RC car from back in the day that a lot of people loved, and yes, it does work. You got this ball toy right here. Who remembers that from back in the day? You got a gigantic Slinky that I found, and then the iconic Nerf ball from back in the day too. These are all original from back in the 90s. Coming over here, you have the iconic thing that a lot of us played, which is Pogs. Pogs, if you guys don't remember that, here's the official tournament one. You got the Slammers here, the thicker versions of Pogs, and this is like my Pog collection here in the corner here. I have a bunch of Tech Decks sitting back there that I just showed you before. They're all like in a bag back there. And then here are all these different Pogs that you guys might remember from your childhood. I have a bunch of different ones from, they have them for everything that you can see. They have Power Rangers ones, they have Marvel ones, just Coca-Cola ones, just all these different ones that you can use. And I have a bunch more in this little thing over here as well. I remember going to school and you know, playing that with people, which was awesome. Over here we got another Hot Wheels here from Star Wars. And then down below here we have Hit Clips. Who remembers Hit Clips? This is the iconic Hit Clips thing right here. And I have a bunch of different Hit Clips from Britney Spears and NSYNC. All these different Hit Clips that you have on here. You know, from all these different artists and stuff before iPods became a big deal, which is super cool. You got Goosebumps, and I don't know about you guys, but I used to love reading these scary stories to tell in the dark book as well. Back there is just a couple of Tamagotchi boxes that I'm storing. And then Sock 'em Boppers. We got Sock 'em Boppers here. Really, really fun stuff over here on the shelf here with the toys, like I said. But that is currently all my toys that I remember from the iconic, you know, time that I grew up in and stuff like that. Some of these, like that Sabiko, man, I used to love playing with that thing back in the day. Moving on to the middle here, this is the iconic Nickelodeon section. This is what I grew up with. Nickelodeon was a huge part of my childhood, and that is what I watched the most when it comes to channels and stuff like that. As I grew up, Nickelodeon was all I watched and all I wanted to watch back then. So this Nickelodeon section, I just turned on the TVs for you guys so you guys can see them. We'll talk about them when we get there, but really, really cool stuff as you guys are looking at here. So let's start off with the top areas here on the top. So right here, we have a bunch of different Tiger electronics. Again, this is reminiscent of the Video Now players. These are all Nickelodeon DVDs, as you can see, or Video Now cassettes. If you guys remember those, I have a shelf dedicated down there for them, but you can see that there are Video Now CDs right there. This is also really, really cool. I'm going to actually show you guys this really quickly. This is a Nickelodeon. You can see all the different symbols and stuff like that on it from SpongeBob SquarePants, real monsters and everything. And this is really, really cool. So if I open this up, this is like an archive from the Nickelodeon here, which is really cool. And it has like an art book here that shows all the different art from all the different sketches from all of the different shows that we all remember, as you guys are seeing there. There's some really cool artwork, and these are from 2013. These are all collectible greeting cards that you can send to people, as you can see, to different addresses and stuff, but they all have different art from all the different shows and stuff, which is super awesome. It has a SpongeBob SquarePants like poster over here as well, and a bunch of different postcards from different shows that are really, really cool. Look at this. Different shows, and it actually told you like who created them, had little different things, like here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right here. Really, really cool like collection here that I have with this box. And you can see another one here that has all these different cards showing off the different things that were created by Nickelodeon and giving you a little like introductory of who made them and stuff like that, which I thought was super cool. And like I said, just a really cool box of, Nickelodeon nostalgia. And I love the front of this thing too, just showing off all the different uh, shows and stuff like that that's on there, like Rugrats there in the corner and Turtles and stuff, which is super fun. Right there at the top here, we also have something else here that's really cool. These are Nickelodeon greeting cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at this really quickly. So if I open this up here, these are other greeting cards that you can send to people from all these different TV shows. It even came with like Nickelodeon envelopes, which is super awesome. And look at that on the back here. They even show off some really cool shows like The Journey of Alan Strange sitting right there. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Just a bunch of different stuff, again, with these envelopes. And then all these different TV shows that you have on here that just have different art. As you guys can see here, it's just really, really fun, really cool collectible. I'll be making videos more in detail showing you guys this stuff a little bit more, telling you where I got it and all that stuff when I do some shorts on this stuff, and go more into detail on this. But this is just super cool. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this TV thing first, just because I want to be able to shut it off so you guys don't have to hear it the whole time. But right here on the corner here on the TV is a little thing that I usually show off when people are over and stuff. It kind of goes through. It's a DVD that I made that just has a bunch of different 90s TV show themes and 90s and 2000s commercials and all that stuff. And it kind of just cycles through them on the DVD. So you can see different iconic TV theme songs and iconic 90s toys commercials and 2000s commercials. Just showcasing a bunch of things like you're seeing right now. And it just kind of brings back the nostalgia while you're kind of sitting here looking at all these toys, and it kind of just cycles through all this stuff. See, there's another commercial, Iconic Connects and stuff like that. So it just goes through all of these iconic commercials. Like I said, I needed something to play these DVDs because I wanted something to be on the wall that just kind of, showcases it. And these are just little two shelves that I painted in green also that are command strip shelves that are kind of just holding it up. And it's a portable DVD player, so I don't need to charge it. Well, I do need to charge it, but it's running off of the charger, so it lasts 6 hours or so. So yeah, really cool. I could take it off the shelf if I want to. I wish they made an orange one. They only make a red one, but yeah. Really, really cool to just showcase a bunch of different commercials that are playing at all times. All right, so I turned that off for the time being so you guys don't have to hear it the whole time, but that is what that was. Now, starting off over here on this shelf now, as you can see, this is a Nickelodeon shelf. I'm not going to talk about every individual piece everywhere, but just go through and show you guys all of it. Because this is all a mishmash of Nickelodeon stuff. You got Clarissa Explains It All notebook. You got the Nickelodeon blimp over here, which is super cool. The Hidden Temple show right here, where you can actually put coins and stuff, which is fun. Are You Afraid of the Dark flashlight sitting right here. This is a really cool thing I got from Etsy that kind of looks like slime is coming out of the bucket and it's kind of hanging in the air, which is super fun. Just a bunch of cool stuff. Keenan and Kel Orange Soda pin. Double Dare game book sitting right here. Some figurines from different shows. A pop there from Rocko's Modern Life. You got a Rugrats 30th anniversary pin. You got some actual GAC, which is what they called their slime back then, right there, which is super awesome. So a bunch of cool stuff on this shelf. Moving to the shelf right next to it, a bunch of other cool stuff here. You got the Nickelodeon Guts like aggro crag that a lot of people tried to win back then. Which is really cool. You got a SpongeBob SquarePants DVD there. You got Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which is actually signed to me, as you can see right there, when I met her. So I got that signed by her, which is super awesome. You got some Ninja Turtle stuff. You got a Rugrats CD case. Really cool. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that I got a Blue's Clues envelope right here, which is super awesome. That looks like the envelope from Blue's Clues as if you just got it, which is really fun. And then I got the Blue's Clues crayons over here and a notebook over here, which is super awesome, just like the Blue's Clues one. Mickey from Hey Arnold. You guys remember that card that he really wanted? I got that card right there. Nickelodeon Snick VHS tape. People remember Snick. Snick was just an iconic thing that they did that played a bunch of series of stuff all together. You got The Adventures of Pete and Pete. There you go, Mr. Tasty. You got a Tommy figure right there with the iconic screwdriver right here, which is super fun. You got this card deck here, which is also fun. This is an exclusive that came from the Nickelodeon box, so that's really fun that we got from there for card pack. And another thing really cool from the Nickelodeon box is this really cool retro player. This is a Bluetooth speaker, but it has a really cool, and this isn't a sticker, this is an actual like engravement into there, which is fun. And, you know, has the iconic Nickelodeon look and stuff like that. I think it looks super awesome. It's a clock on one side, but I usually like to play the Bluetooth speakers on the front. And yeah, it's a pretty decent Bluetooth speaker. That's really fun. I love the way that looks. And you got the Rugrats ball sitting right there. Going here towards the middle of the wall, you have the nice Nickelodeon Splat iconic sign to show off this whole area. Love that sign. We'll always love that sign. It's like a perfect thing. You need to have one of these signs to if you have a Nickelodeon area. A bunch of different pins and stuff like that from Are You Afraid of the Dark, SpongeBob, Double Dare, Reptar sitting right there. You got the iconic Cynthia doll. You got Shorshak from Rocket Power here, a little bottle opener right here. You got a nice little keychain here that says Nickelodeon Studios Orlando, Florida, which is cool because I didn't have anything here that said Nickelodeon Studios yet, so it's really cool to have that as part of the collection. You got a Real Monsters chalkboard sitting right there. You got the Snick camera cover, which is cool. You put it on top of laptops and stuff to cover the camera if you guys didn't want that to show off, which is really fun. And then the last thing here on the wall is you got the Nickelodeon poster with a bunch of different characters from a bunch of the different shows, and then coming right across is one of my favorite things in the collection. This is a Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards signed by a bunch of the different people who went to the 2000s Kids' Choice Awards. I don't know every single person that signed this, but I can tell you Amanda Bynes obviously signed it right there. You got Nickelback sitting right there. Bunch of different, you got Keenan and Kel, you got Hanson back there, you got Joey from Backstreet Boys sitting right there. So many different iconic people. There's a couple of signatures that I couldn't even identify on this thing. But this is super cool to have this from the Kids' Choice Awards, the 11th annual Kids' Choice Awards right there, and having all these different people, you know, sign it and stuff like that from the iconic, you know, Kids' Choice Awards is super, super fun. One of my favorite things in my, you know, on this wall in the 90s collection. So coming down to the floor here, we got a bunch of other board games over here that kind of separate these shelves out. You got Don't Wake Daddy, you got Hungry Hungry Hippos, you got a Nickelodeon Splat Attack game, which is super fun. You got the 90s trivia game, 90s board game, and then you got Nightmare, that old school VHS game that a lot of us maybe don't remember. That's such a crazy game from back in the day. And right here, you got Franklin. I used to love watching Franklin on Nickelodeon, one of my favorite shows as a kid. You got the Franklin doll right there. And then you got a game key card here in the back that's still sealed from SpongeBob. It won't be sealed for long once I actually decide to play it. I don't really care about keeping anything sealed, but 2 new games, and we'll talk about that more in a second when I show you guys the actual unit that you use to play that stuff. And again, all of this stuff all works. That's why I like having this stuff. So yes, this Nickelodeon Blaster still works, and you can actually play cassette tapes and stuff like that on it, which is why I have some cassettes right here. Listen to some iconic, you know, stuff from that era and theme songs and stuff like that. The radio even works on it right now too, which is super fun and super cool. Right next to that, we have my Ninja Turtles DVD player and TV setup. So you can see right here my DVD player from Ninja Turtles. I do have the remotes for both, as you guys can see here. Here's the other remote. And what I was about to tell you guys that just went off is when you're using these remotes and you used to press and hold these remotes back in the day, this is the South Park version. I have other ones. These are called TV talkers, and every time that you would change the channel, it would go through all these different things, and then it would have a sensor for your IR sensor, and it would just say iconic things from the show, like South Park. Really, really cool. They made these for a couple of other ones. I have the Beavis and Butthead one on my... he's still going. They make these for other ones. I have the Beavis and Butthead one and the Family Guy one, which is super fun. And again, this little TV setup here that I have is what I use to basically, you can see that it has like a nice little Ninja Turtles like logo on the TV where you're using the DVD player, which I think is super awesome. And again, I use this DVD player to basically play my DVDs. If I want to be able to play my DVDs, I can go ahead and, you know, watch it on this little 13-inch Ninja Turtles TV that a lot of us had some of these kind of versions of TVs back in the day. This is also where I connect some of my old school like TV things. Remember those TV like controller things that you used to play as a kid? like this one from Ninja Turtles that had like a controller attached, and it was like a I forget the exact name of these things, but you would plug it into your AV, and it was like a little cheap version of the Tiger Electronics that you could play. Well, that's what those game key cards were for that I was just talking about before. So there's the Nickelodeon game key card, and basically they made a version where they had some games stored on the actual unit, but then you could buy game key cards to expand it, and there was another one still sealed back there as well. And then I have this Turtles one and a bunch of other ones back in storage back there behind me that I can connect to this TV in front of it and just play all of these crazy games from back in the day. So that's super fun. But super rare to come across a Ninja Turtles TV like this that's complete with their remote, especially with the DVD player. So I'm happy to have this, and it's a perfect TV to have in the Nickelodeon area, and perfect thing to have to watch. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because we don't need this on anymore. And super fun to have that as part of the collection and just watch some TV shows on it. So coming down to some of the shelves here, start off with this shelf here. We have the split attack with all the different characters for that board game sitting right here. I wish they were painted, but a bunch of different games on, or different characters for the split attack board game. It's a Nickelodeon board game that came out a couple years ago, which is super fun. Coming down here, we got some of my favorite Nickelodeon games. You got Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl 2. You got Nickelodeon Nicktoons Unite from the GameCube, so that's really fun. You got the Nicktoons MLB from the Xbox 360. That's like the card that came with it, but I do have the game on the shelf. And then this is really, really cool. I have the box back there, which you can see. This is the 1 year anniversary that they would give to employees when they worked at Nickelodeon for a year. And I found this new in the box from someone that was selling it, which is super awesome. And that they gave this to employees when they worked there for a year. That's super fun. Didn't know about that till recently. This I'm going to do a video on separately too, but this is a Nickelodeon art book with all the different Nickelodeon history and stuff like that. It's a really nice book. I'll have to go more into detail on that in a different video right now, but yeah, super, super great art book that we'll have to get into a different time. We have the Nickelodeon kart racing collection for the Switch. This is 1, 2, and 3. Super awesome. You got the Shredder's Revenge game right there, which is great. And then you also have Nicktoons Racing on the PC, the iconic racing game from Nicktoons right there. PlayStation, we got Rocket Power Team Rocket Rescue. I remember playing that as a kid, and Rugrats to Search for a Reptar. We got a Hey Arnold's figure right there with him with the umbrella. We got an actual Nickelodeon umbrella sitting right there, which is super fun. Coming to this shelf here, we got a bunch of different Nickelodeon DVDs and VHSs, like things like Alan Strange, Clarissa Explains It All, Cousin Skeeter, The Doug Show, Little Bear, Good Burger, Gullah Gullah Island, Double Dare, Alex Mack, a bunch of different ones, as you can see there. My Brother and Me, that's a really rare DVD to find. The Hey Arnold's Complete Collection. So there's definitely more stuff that I'm missing, but super happy to have some of those as part of the collection. Some of them I actually had to make on DVD by myself because they never came out on DVD. I think one of those is Alan Strange and Cousin Skeeter, which you can't even find the full entire series online, which sucks. I had some of the episodes on those DVDs, but not a complete collection because some of those episodes are lost in media right now. But still happy to have what I have. Here we have another area right here. We got some stuff back there, like the Kids' Choice Award DVD sitting back there. We got a Blue's Clues series back there on DVD. We got this iconic Nickelodeon. That's another Nickelodeon blaster toy, just like this one here. This was obviously a CD player. This is like the iconic phone that people had back there, which I think is super fun. And then right next to it here is my Nickelodeon trading card game. Or not game, but like cards. If you guys remember these cards from back in the day, these are all my Nickelodeon ones that I have as part of my set in a little Reptar binder. So that's super fun. And then right here we have my Nickelodeon magazine collection. I really want more of these magazines. I only own like 7 or 8, and they're from the 2000s. I want to get some from the 90s, but man, these are hard to find, and when you do find them, they're expensive. But I used to love, and Nickelodeon magazine, I used to have a few of them. Didn't have a lot of them as a kid, but loved what I had. And going through these now as a kid, or sorry, as an adult, and looking through some of the stuff that was going on back then is super fun because it brings back a lot of nostalgic memories of, like, flipping through a magazine that was done in that era. And this one is specifically signed by Rosie O'Donnell with her signature on it, with the 1998 Kids' Choice Awards, with some of the other magazines sitting in the back right there. And then a couple of figures here on the front, and a Nickelodeon camera for PC that they made for some of their stuff there. And then coming up here that I almost forgot about is my SpongeBob CD player. So this is the one that plays cassettes, and this one plays my CDs. And sitting here with the Nicktoons cassette player, or CDs that you can play on there, which is super fun. Moving right along from here is my TV area that we were talking about. So this is everything to do with my TV stuff. So if it fits in the TV, then it's over here on this wall. And as you can see here, we start off with the Blockbuster and Blockbuster membership card, as you see there, and a couple of my signatures from some of my favorite iconic stuff from the 90s. So you can see here some of the stuff from like One Tree Hill. I have that signed to me. I have Bethany also from One Tree Hill who signed that to me. This is Step by Step, and she's the one who signed this one. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now because I'm an idiot, but she signed that one. This is signed by Peter from Jumanji, which is super fun. This is signed by the Red Ranger here, which is awesome. So, oh, and that one by the Turtles was signed by Donatello, which I forgot to mention. And then we just got a couple of stickers here from stuff from the 90s and stuff. Just tap it in from one of my favorite movies. And then one time at band camp from American Pie, sitting right there, just take up some wall space for the time being. Add a couple of stickers there. And then over here is just a bunch of trading card packs. Trading card packs were all the rave back in the 90s and stuff, and they had packs for everything. And here are some of them on the wall here, and these are all related to TVs or movies and stuff. So you got Growing Pains, MTV Raps, Saved by the Bell, the ones from like Full House, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Back to the Future, Power Rangers, Beetlejuice, Disney trading card, the college years, Nick Jr., or sorry, just Nick cards, and the Flintstones sitting right there, which is great. And then two of my VHS tapes with a nice Blockbuster sign in the middle. Please be kind and rewind. All of us remember seeing that when we walked into Blockbusters back in the day. I know I did. Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite, movies from the back in the 90s, and Mayor Kate and Ashley is an iconic VHS tape that all of us watched back in the day, and it's even more awesome that it actually has a Blockbuster tape right there, which made it an easy choice to go on the wall. Now, moving down here to the bottom, we got some more board games over here. We got the Mystery Mansion board game. Damn, do I remember playing that as a kid. What an iconic game. We got the Fireball Island. This is technically the newer version that was made, but it's still the same game that we all remember with just slightly better rules. So I still think it's super fun. We got the Crossfire game sitting right there as well. We got an MTV trivia game right there. We got a Blockbuster game sitting right there on the top. We got the 13 Dead End Drive. I loved playing that as a kid. And Pokemon Master Trainer set. What an iconic Pokemon board game back in the day. Really rare to find that with all the pieces. And I have all the pieces in mine that I got a couple of years ago, which I'm super happy with. Here on the shelf, we got a little Boy Meets World section. Boy Meets World is my favorite TV show of all time. Full stop. And it's awesome to have that. And we have that right here with Corey and Topanga's what's it called? Signature, not signature, bobbleheads right here. Let's try it again. Funko Pops sitting right here with some stickers here like Fini, who remembers that, playing with squirrels and stuff like that. That's really cool. And then we got the Nickelodeon magazine just shown off up there that has Corey on it. And that's actually the official first pilot episode signed by Corey himself. That's really, really awesome. That goes through the whole entire script of the first episode, which is awesome. That's signed by him. And then we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers sitting right here, the complete DVD set. We got The Simpsons, the Power Rangers. This is another one of those things that I can't remember what these are actually called, but this is what plugs into your TV, so you can play some Power Rangers games with the AV that I was talking about to that TV. I have a bunch of these. I just can't show them all off. But then we got some Scooby-Doo figures and stuff like that right there. We got Home Alone sitting right here in front of us. What else do we have here? So on these next shelves here at the bottom, this is my Power Ranger shelf. So you got a bunch of stuff from the Power Rangers. We got the original trading card 2-player set. We got the trading card VHS tape from back in the day. And we got my Pokemon cards there sitting in that binder. We got the Beckett Pokemon magazines where you used to get those and look up what was coming out and how much your cards were worth and stuff like that. The complete Pokemon, original series on DVD. You got the Pokédex. You got a couple of new packs from Scarlet and Violet right now, just to show off some of the new packs, which is fun. And we got the trading card game for the PC as well. Coming over here, we just got a bunch of mishmash stuff from a bunch of different shows like Smallville and Buffy the Vampire Slayer figurines. You got Miley Worlds when I had that subscription service. We got the Video Now Hannah Montana with the pin right there. High School Musical and Hannah Montana, and the Disney Afternoon little clips and stuff like that for music. Coming down here, we have a original Friends with Rachel Green sitting right here. Pop, that's pretty rare. Some packs here from Pokemon and baseball. Those are packs that we remember from back in the day. This is where my Video Now collection also sits. That's not related to Nickelodeon that I showed you before. We got DuckTales sitting right here as well. But yeah, a bunch of Video Now stuff that I watch on the Video Now player that I think I might have forgotten to actually say. But my Video Now collection is right there. I got the XP and the green one as well, so I can watch the black and white version and the color FX one. And yeah, these are where some of those are stored. If they're not Nickelodeon, they're sitting right here, and have them there. And then some stuff over here is Kelly Kapowski trading card right there. We got the Stewie little figure right there. And this is where most of my Disney Adventure magazines go. I don't have most of them down here because I have a Disney themed guest room upstairs where I keep these, but I wanted to at least show this off because this was an iconic magazine from back in the day as well. And flipping through these magazines, I wish I had as much Nickelodeon magazines as I do this one, because I have like every single one of, like, so many. I don't know if I have a full set, but like these Disney Adventures that I got from a coworker is freaking awesome. Because again, you're flipping through and looking at things that, like, like this one here is showing off the Game Boy in an ad, and you're just looking at some of these things. And you're like, holy shit, I remember that. And like they're talking about different things or commercials or TV shows and stuff. So it's just awesome flipping through some of these books here. And I have a ton. I have this whole entire shelf full, and then upstairs as well, which is really fun. Uh, and this is from iCarly. This is super awesome. I'm sure those of you guys who watch iCarly know about this. This actually works and actually is the replica of what they do on the iCarly show with the remote, like sound bites. Oh, I got to turn it on, don't I? I do. You remember this from iCarly? What about random dancing? We all remember this. Boom. We all remember them doing this, and then the applause button. Really, really cool. I didn't know that they made this. I came across this recently and added it to the collection. So I like to show off like different pieces of things that are really cool. Obviously, I can't have everything in the world when it comes to every toy from every show and stuff like that. So I try to either pick things that I remember from my childhood, or if it's a show that I really like iCarly, that I grew up with, I could be like, all right, let me collect something from that show that's really cool. And that was an iconic piece from the show. And, it made perfect sense. So super, super fun to add that to the collection. Then we have the Jumanji game sitting right here in the corner. And then this is my binder with the rest of my trading card games. I don't know how Beavis and Butthead ended down there. He must have fell. He was on the shelf at one point. So we'll add him on the shelf here. Right there. But yeah, this is the Power Rangers binder. And this houses all of my other trading card from all. Like I said, they made these for so many different things. Saved by the Bell. You got movie ones like Jumanji, MTV Raps, Marvel ones, just so many different ones. Family Matters, and just so many different ones. Space Jam, Disney. It's just crazy. They made this for so many different things. So I have a binder full of that with the Power Rangers that kind of sits here in the corner. And then here is my magazine area. As you can see, if I come around the corner, has a little sign with the Hulk. Say read a comic book today. So this is comic book and magazine. So you can see comics right here that I have showing off some different comics from back in the day. I also have Nintendo Power sitting right here. I have a 90s book down there, and Pokemon for showcasing the first I Choose You in comic book form, which is really cool. But then I also have the Xbox magazines and stuff over here. I have the Nintendo Power, I have PlayStation magazine, and I have the Retro Gamer magazine, stuff that's all retro related. You got the Retro Gamer magazine from the UK. You got the original PC Gamer magazines that came with CDs and stuff, which is super cool. I got a couple of them sealed, and then a couple more coming in that are not sealed. So that's super fun. Reading magazines that are like Half-Life coming soon, Half-Life 2, which is awesome. 90s Collection magazine, which is super awesome to read from Retro. J14. I don't know how many of you guys remember J14, but I definitely remember that. So yeah, really cool to have this sitting over here, kind of showing off right here in the corner. But yeah, that is basically my 90s wall completely talked about. Let me go ahead and give you guys my final thoughts on all this. All right, guys, thank you guys for watching and enjoying this video. Hopefully you guys got a lot of different things that kind of brought back some 90s and 2000s nostalgia as you guys are looking at here. And I hope, like I said, that you guys got a lot out of this video. If you guys have your own 90s and 2000s memories, make sure you share them down below. If there's certain things that maybe you guys know were from your childhood that you think I'm missing from this shelf that you can't believe isn't on here, whether it's Nickelodeon related or TV related or toy related, and you're like, I can't believe he doesn't have this. It needs to be a part of his collection. Make sure you let me know, because maybe I just forgot. You know, some of these things you just forget that were part of your childhood until you see something and you're like, holy shit, I remember that. So make sure you let me know if you guys have stuff like that as well down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.